A little consideration, a little thought for others makes all the difference. Hey, Emil. Today I'll be talking about the topic consideration. What does it mean? Is there any benefit to consideration? And how can we practice consideration? I will also talk about factors that hinder consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Eunice Olatunji. I'm a mediator, a mediation advocate, and a peace educator. If this is your first time of coming to my channel, I want to say thank you for clicking on this video. I will appreciate if you click on the subscribe button, share the video, like the video, and let's interact in the comment section. I will start by illustrating my topic with the story of an old man. He was a blind man and he needed to go out in the night. He had his walking stick, and in addition to his walking stick, he carried a lantern, a lamp. On his way, he met a young boy. The young boy noticed that this man was blind. I was amazed that what is a blind man doing with a lamp? He can't even see. Is this old man a joke or something? And the old man said, "Oh, I carry the lamp not because of me, but because of you and other road users that will need to see me as I walk on the road." So being considerate means to be thoughtful, to be mindful of the benefit or the welfare and interest of other people. Like the old man, we all owe our neighbor a duty of care. Anyone that will be affected by your action or inaction are your neighbor, and you owe them a duty of care. You need to envisage what is the likely implication of your action on them. Just like the old man walking on the street, he understands that there may be other road users who will need to see him, and he carried the lamp not for himself, but for others. So you can see that consideration isn't just a virtue, but it's a necessity for us to live in a community that is full of peace. Consideration is a necessity to have a family that is peaceful, to be able to transact business with each other. When you're being considerate of others, you put them in your mind. You think about how your action is going to affect them. You empathize with them. You listen attentively to them to understand their points. The fact that you're listening to other people does not mean that you agree with their point of view, but you are understanding where they're coming from. What is motivating their action, not just the emotion they display. It's just like baby crying. A baby don't just cry. When baby cries, the baby is trying to communicate something. Maybe the baby wants to eat. Maybe the baby is wet. They are trying to communicate something. So as a parent, we want to observe, why is the baby crying? Not just the cry alone. We look beyond the emotion that's been expressed. And that's what consideration is all about. When you're listening to people, you understand them, observe what is being said, relate what you heard. You can express how you feel about what you heard. Give people the opportunity to explain the situation. Does it mean that I should abandon my own life for the benefit of others in the name of consideration? I don't think so. For instance, a student that has an assignment to do, you've not done your own assignment and your classmate is struggling with his or her own assignment. Should you abandon your own assignment and do theirs? I don't think so. This is not about being self-centered, but about you caring for yourself and then putting other people in consideration. Like the story of the old man I talked about. He cared for himself and thought about other people that he may come across on his way. So when we are being considerate, we have to do our own duty well. As a partner in a family, before you take up any appointment, you think about your other partner, because it's partnership actually, it's teamwork. How will this action affect my partner in my home? As a parent, you have to be considerate of your children as well. allow people to make mistake. Don't judge them harshly. Listen to them to understand why they have behaved in the way they have. One of the factors that hinder consideration is lack of community awareness. And I will illustrate this by using a boat. You can see a picture of a boat. Some people are up, some are down. And the people that the water is already seeping into the boats, the people then are busy trying to get the water out of the boat. But the people up there thinking, well, the water, we are still very hot. The water won't get to us. Indifference. But little did they know that it's just a matter of time. It will get to them. So indifference prevents people from being considerate. And when we do that, we are not just destroying the immediate people or the people down. It will get to you. When we neglect to provide right education, well, my children won't go there. Those people that you're not training, would you not walk on the streets? I read recently of a man that killed someone for 20,000 naira, a whole human being for 20,000 naira. Kidnapping up and down because some people are not being considerate, because some people are being selfish, self-centeredness, thinking that your own feelings, thinking that your own belief is above every other person. You don't care because you are living in a glass house. You don't care because fuel scarcity will not affect you. You don't care because you are educated. It's just a matter of time. We need to learn to have a community value. A problem to one is a problem to all. Let's come together and see how we solve that problem before it spread around and we are not able to curtail it. Apart from human interaction, but we have to be considerate with nature as well. Imagine a lush forest. Is it just for the beauty of it? It has its own impact. While we go into the bush, all in the name of industrialization, development, we fall down trees without replacing them. Do you know what that is causing? Global warming, winds, erosion, because we are not being considerate of the nature. Everyone, everything, nature, human being has to be put into consideration in the way we are behaving, in taking any action in our world. So how can we practice this? We start by love, loving other people, caring for one another, showing kindness to people, irrespective of how small you think it is. Show genuine care for other people around you. Someone will say that some people will think that, oh, and I've been nice to them, being considerate, that is their right. Should we continue to show consideration to such people who do not recognize it, who think that is their right? Well, I will still say that we give people benefit of doubt. When people are demonstrating a certain behavior, try to understand why, what is motivating it. But when the baby is crying, you have checked, the baby is not hungry, the baby is not hungry, the baby is not wet, you have tried all you could. What should you do? Sometimes you need to let the baby know you can't continue this behavior. And that's what happens sometimes when we tolerate bad behavior. We have to recognize bad behavior and we have to put a stop to it. So being considerate is for people that are not intentionally or consciously hurting other people, making other people's life miserable. No. Doing that will be encouraging bad behavior. So we need to call it out. Listen well to other people. Try and understand what is motivating their action. Then express clearly what you have observed without being judgmental, without evaluating. What have you heard? How does that make you feel? Express it to other people that this is what I've heard you say, and this is what I feel about it, so that they can come and realize that, okay, this person knows that I'm being manipulated. This will not work. but we should be careful not to judge harshly or quickly. Allow people can make mistakes. Nobody is above mistake. So when we judge quickly or harshly, we may miss a lot of things and jeopardize lives of people that actually genuinely suffering from one thing or the other. Is there any benefits to being considered? A lot of benefits. It leads to a happy living. It leads to bliss. When people are being shown consideration or being cared for, they are likely to extend that love to other people, because you are depositing love in people, you are loving people, irrespective of where they are coming from. They will be able to give out love because all they've received in their lives is love. And that's what they will give out. When what you are investing in people is hatred, what you will get is hatred. So you need to be intentional about depositing seed of love, kindness into the life of people. Consideration deeply moves and touches people. There was a story of a man, Howard Kelly. Howard Kelly was a very poor boy who goes from house to house to sell goods. And this particular day, he couldn't make any sale. What he had on him was just a dime. And he was so hungry. So he just went to a house and knocked on the door. And a young woman came out to meet this Howard guy. And he asked for a cup of water. The young woman noticed that this man is hungry. And she went inside, brought out a glass of milk, and gave it to this young boy. Many years after, they brought a woman to a hospital with an ailment. She was very ill. Not knowing that Howard was that young boy that this woman gave a glass of milk to several years back. They treated this woman well and she recovered. She was so scared that how on earth would she be able to pay for the medical treatment she has received. When they brought the bill to her, it was written on the invoice, paid in full with one glass of milk. And she was grateful. She never knew that this boy could be anything. Show kindness to people. Be considerate of other people, irrespective of whether they can pay you back or they cannot pay you back. Don't be indifferent about other people's plights, because it's just a matter of time. It will catch up with you like those people in the boats. Think about others all the time. Being considerate does not mean that you should tolerate bad behavior. There's a saying that says you may go further and fare worse. So this is a narration of a bad behavior that because you want to be considerate, you're just taking everything in. No, you have to call their attention to it so that you don't encourage bad behavior. I hope you've learned something today. As we go about doing our business today, think about other people. Put them into consideration before you say that word. How will other people feel? How will they take the word? Is it going to edify anyone? Is it going to encourage anyone? Is it going to make someone to go and commit suicide? Is it going to turn somebody into depressive mode? You can correct people in love. Everything we do, let it be motivated in love. Put other people into consideration. As a manufacturer, consider the users of your products. As a parent, consider your children. As a citizen, let's consider the nature. Let's consider other people living around us. As a leader, be considerate of your follower. Let's be considerate of other people. I hope you've learned something today. And I hope to see you again. Okay, bye for now.